And welcome to On the Radar. I'm Paul Mireles.
I'm Ryan Shoptaugh.
And I'm Roxie Van Ruiten.
And of course, here on the Radar, we take you beyond the forecast with the wildest and trending weather videos of the week. Not only that, we have a lot of fun, don't we, guys?
That is for sure.
That's
right, Roxie?
right. Mm-hmm.
She's like, well,
I'm forced to do this.
Sometimes
No,
these
I'm just
videos.
kidding.
I think that is a yes, we do. All right, floods and cars, they do not mix.
They do not. And, you know, in the last few shows, guys, we've been talking about Oklahoma tornadoes, Oklahoma flooding, but now we're going a little bit farther north, still in the Central Plains, but into Kansas. Take a look at some of this video in Wichita, Kansas. This is dramatic water rescues that happened across, again, the Central Plains on June 3rd. Rescue crews from the Wichita Fire Department using a raft to reach a stranded driver. The WFD said it received 77 submersion calls. So this wasn't the only one, guys. And as you can see on this video, it's incredible. I mean, there's so many stranded residents and people that are just struggling. They're trapped inside their cars, right?
So it looks like there's people still in that car, I guess, right? That's
Yeah.
why they've got the boat over there, and they're going to try to get these people out. You know, when you're in a situation like that, first of all, you don't want to be in that situation. But if you're in a situation like that, I mean, sometimes you don't know what to do.
Isn't that a nightmare? I mean, you know, not just flooding, but being trapped in your car because the weight of water, it's so heavy, and you probably can't push your car out as easy as you think you can. You know what I'm saying? So,
Well, in this case, I don't think you could do that.
Yeah.
But you know what I think about? I think about before cell phones. Like today, if you had a cell phone, you could just call 911. Hey, I need help.
right.
Before cell phones, you just had to wait for somebody to call.
Before cell phones? Well,
Yeah.
is that
Roxy's like,
in your day? No,
was it
just
so?
kidding.
Weren't cell phones always around? Yeah. But no, that
It's a
is
long time ago.
that is tremendous. That's dramatic.
Yeah,
video.
so the agency just emphasized, remember, turn around, don't drown. When you're in doubt, find another route. Do not drive through flooded roadways because the power of water can be devastating like this.
And to me, it looks like they're having a tough time.
Yeah, that is some
Right.
difficult.
They break the window, right? They have to.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Is that what they do? I don't know.
I mean,
eventually.
that's one of the ways to get out, but that's honestly the last resort, right? You don't want to do that because glass can hurt, or that can cut skin, and you don't want that to happen. But you're stranded in your car. That's very difficult. Very difficult.
Very difficult situation there. Okay, we're going to stay in Kansas. We've got some more flooding coming out of Kansas. Yeah, let's take a look. We've got high water all across Kansas City and also Wichita, Kansas. Matter of fact, that day, there was just flooding everywhere.
Yeah.
So, again, you've got another car with flooding here, and it looks like, you know, it's hard to tell. There's so much flooding going on here that you can't even tell where the street is. Now you can. Now you can see that there's an intersection right there. But people are coming up saying, hey, can I help you? What can I do? And so the fire department they're there to rescue. And looks like everyone got out safely and out of the cars. But, you know, again, this is a situation you don't want to be in.
It sucks when you live in those bad infrastructure areas, you know?
Right, poor drainage areas. That's a huge reason why. I mean, it's not just only heavy rain, flooding rains, but it's also just these neighborhoods that are prone to flooding in just 1 to 2 inches of rain. And then when you get 3 to 4, 5 inches of rain, it can cause scenes like this where, you know, fire departments and they have to get involved. You know,
And you know, in every town, you know, you're in that town that you're from, you know, those places that flood easy, you know, so just stay away from those areas. But here it looks like it's about a foot or two deep, so pretty deep water there. Okay, Ryan, we're going to do a little explaining, I believe, right?
Yeah, so, you know, driving in heavy rain, it's so difficult, right? And especially when you're on the highway, when we're traveling to work, when we're commuting back to where we need to go from home back to work, and especially on flooded roadways, this is very difficult. So this is my car. I drive a RAV4, by the way. So yeah. So anyway, this is my car.
How much
is
you
that,
get
is that
paid?
Ryan's car?
Do you have the blue one or the red one?
Well, that's I don't want to tell you yet, but it's a dark gray
Is this a
RAV4.
witness protection thing?
But anyway, when you're going slow through, you know, flooded roadways, your tires, they can get traction. They can actually touch the road. So driving is a little easier. But when you're going so fast, 60, 65 miles an hour, you're driving above the water, and that causes hydroplaning, and that's what can cause you to you know, move back and forth. You lose control of your car. Factors that can increase these chances by going, you know, over 45 miles an hour. And you don't want to be driving like this, right, Paul? You know?
Roxy's having fun with
You just reminded me I need to check my tires. I
You
haven't
have
done
to.
that since
You have to
I
have
got
good tread
here.
on your tires to get good traction on the roads.
That's another good point, Roxy. Yeah, because if you have worn out tires, you're likely to spin out easier.
The yellow light in my car has been on for a while, actually.
Well, you should probably get it
so,
checked.
Yeah.
Get it checked, Roxie.
And
Below tire tread depth, as you guys mentioned, you need to check your tires, deeper water on the road. Speeds over 45 miles an hour. That's generally the rule of thumb when you're driving through flooded roadways. That's when can cause hydroplaning. And do not underestimate the power of water. Me and Paul talked about this.
Yes.
You know,
I can't wait to see this myself.
6 inches of fast-moving water can knock you off your feet,
Okay.
first and foremost.
6 inches.
6
It
inches.
better be moving pretty fast to knock me off my feet. But
Now, it's above a foot of accumulated rainfall of fast-moving water that can carry away a car. We talked about this yesterday, Paul.
yes.
Some people were saying like 6 to 8 inches. It's not that. It requires at least a foot of rain to move cars a substantial amount and substantial distance.
That becomes a scary situation, though.
Right. And then up to 18 to 24 inches, that's nearly 2 feet of rain, which most people don't typically observe, in a day or two. But sometimes when you're in significant historic rain events, that can happen.
Yeah.
And fast-moving water can carry away most large SUVs, vans, and other vehicles like
Okay.
that. So,
Even Ford F-150s?
it's possible.
Would it be better when you have a bigger car? Or
Of course.
It would be
Yeah,
better,
of course,
especially if you had a Raptor. That would
Okay.
be really
Oh,
nice.
well, I can't afford a Raptor. But
Yeah, or a Trail Boss. Or
Okay.
But yeah, don't underestimate the power of moving water, guys.
all right, you know what? Again, Ryan comes through with the help of AI.
Not AI, but okay. It's not really AI. But
We use MIA or
You're right.
MAI.
This is hard work.
Minimal AI. Okay, so we're going to move one state over. We're going to go to Missouri.
That's right. So St. Louis, Missouri. So we've got some down trees, completely stripped, and even a sun porch due to the storm. Thousands were left without power. At one point, some of the water was 2 feet deep. That doesn't seem like a lot, but it could definitely do a lot of damage.
2 feet.
That's a big tree, by the way.
Yeah, that's huge. Oh my god. The bark of the tree first and foremost was stripped off and then up halfway broken off.
You know what I'm thinking, and I shouldn't even just come out with this, but it looked like lightning maybe.
Yeah, sometimes that can. Yeah,
'Cause that's a big tree for it to be split like that.
right. Due to just winds. I mean, it has to be at least some other extraneous factors like lightning, things like that.
It kind of looks that way, but look, I mean, it could have been wind because who knows what that is? It looked like somebody's gutter or something.
Is Roxy getting ready to go
down the street?
outside?
Yeah, Roxy,
Sorry.
what are you
What's
doing
going on?
over there?
Because it was actually raining today. So I used the Ken's umbrella.
Okay.
So it, very in theme, and it matches the outfit. But,
So, Roxy, you
I
must
got the full screen. Okay.
you must not be superstitious.
Because does she know?
Ken's vibe.
Do you know that's bad luck?
Yeah, opening an
yeah, it
umbrella
is.
indoors. Yeah, it's
You're
bad luck.
But you know what? If
Well-
you're not so superstitious, it doesn't matter. And obviously, Roxy is not.
It's not.
I don't get bad luck.
Well,
Ever.
Well, okay.
Hey, you know what, Ryan? I believe that.
Wait a few hours, but okay.
Let's test it out.
Wait a few hours, your luck will change. In Roxy's case, I don't think so.
Yeah.
All right, so we're going to go way up north. We haven't done this in a while. Right, Ryan?
Is it Roxy or me? Is it?
I think it's you, but it can be any of us, actually.
Okay, we'll take a look at some
Ryan,
of this video. This is out of, is it Michigan, I believe?
Yep.
And take a look at some of this tree damage. I mean, so much trees. I mean, so many different houses suffering from the wind damage in this neighborhood, in this residential area. And take a look at this. An EF1 tornado and strong straight-line winds in Lansing caused a large amount of damage to utilities that first responders and crews cannot effectively and efficiently access due to fallen trees and debris blocking the roads.
Look at that.
Thousands
You
were
gotta
out
stop.
power.
Did you see that?
Yeah, that's incredible. Thousands of people were without power for days after the storm.
That's a lot
Yeah.
of damage there in Lansing. That was Lansing, Michigan, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And they can get a lot of severe weather threats out there. I mean, they have the different lakes that provide the moisture content, and thunderstorms can get pretty active up there.
And I'm sure it snows like crazy too. I'm sure in the wintertime.
Yeah, but this is a different level of severe weather. That's
That is a different level of severe weather. That's big time there in Lansing, Michigan. And by the way, if you're wondering where Lansing is, it's kind of like right in the middle of Michigan.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah, I've never been there, but anyway, nice place. Okay, we're going to go somewhere completely different. Let's go to Florida. What do you say?
Florida.
Yeah, let's go down to
Colorado.
Florida. Take a look at this. Lightning hitting the water. Great imagery there. So this is near Naples, Florida. Notice how the water is so beautiful there. If you've never been to Naples, you got to go check it out. It's on the west coast of Florida. This happened on June 2nd, and the guy that got this captured the moment that lightning hit the Gulf, and the National Weather Service issued a special marine warning, which they typically do with the thunderstorms that come through there. But yeah, I thought that was really neat there, and it makes me want to go to the beach.
You must be patient
so
because
great.
it takes a while to wait for a pretty good lightning strike like that. But that's true. I've never
Unless
it's just an
lucky.
active thunderstorm out across the distance.
Unless you just got lucky.
Yeah, exactly.
Like right now, if Roxie was to go out to the beach, with her luck, she'd catch it probably.
With my luck, you're right. I can't be outside.
Just perfect. Speaking of
That was
luck,
a good one.
Speaking of luck,
Speaking of luck,
Coachella.
Coachella.
Hold on,
Is that
before
luck?
you-
Was that-
before
was
you
that
get into the
lucky?
story,
Yeah.
Has anybody here ever been to Coachella?
No.
No.
not
Would
yet.
anybody here like to go to Coachella?
Yes.
Maybe
are you
one
buying
day,
or
yeah,
what?
just to experience it.
Yeah, I would love to go. Matter of fact, nobody's gonna.
Cute Ryan beatboxing.
I'm all by myself. Okay. Before the show, we were all into it, but I guess.
Ryan's shy now. There we go. Okay, so we're taking things to Coachella now. All right.
Okay, what happened in Coachella?
All right, so not the festival, but Coachella Valley. So in California, which is right next to Palm Springs, check out this storm. I wonder what the fashion forecast was for this. So it would be, since, because everyone in Coachella does it with their outfits.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? No? Okay.
Yeah. They have all kinds of, it's real elaborate, right, out there at Coachella?
Yeah,
Yeah.
you never hear about Coachella Valley. It's always a festival, but it's an actual city.
Yeah, it's really close to, I think, Palm Springs, not too far away. I can't remember the other cities that are there, but it's pretty close to all that. But at this year's Coachella, it happens in April, so we've already missed it. But I think Post Malone was there, Lady Gaga.
And Paul's a Post Malone fan.
I am a Posty.
Big Posty fan.
Posty, yeah.
Are you?
Yeah, he is.
Yeah, there's nothing. I love. Yeah, I like.
Well, maybe one day you
What
can head to
about Drake?
Coachella. Maybe one day you
I'm
can
going
head
to tell
there.
you, Post Malone is a very talented individual. You may not agree.
He switches
But-
genres. He's very versatile. He's a good
He can do
good
country
artist.
music.
He can do rap.
He
He
can
can
do
do hip hop.
rap.
Yeah.
He's very
If
humble.
He could probably do bluegrass if he wanted to. But anyway,
Oh.
and he grew up close to where I grew up. That doesn't really matter. But anyway,
So
very
it's your
talented. I
buddy.
love
Oh, it was North Texas, right near Fort Worth or Dallas.
Yeah.
South
I
of Dallas.
love
Yeah,
it.
Oh,
yeah,
that's
yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. So anyway, next year we need to go to Coachella.
Maybe we'll
check it out.
buy tickets.
You're buying.
Okay.
Okay. You can
As
say
long as
so.
I'm buying, we're flying. Is that what they say?
Is that
Exactly.
okay?
Oh, okay. If you have been storm chasing, you know what this is. But if you're not a storm chaser, you may be like, are we getting invaded? Is
Right.
this from aliens?
Is that a mothership?
What is this?
What is
this a
this?
mothership? We're going to show you when On the Radar return. And welcome back to On the Radar, Beyond the Forecast. Okay, we're going to go to Colorado. Now, the first thing that you think of, Roxie, Ryan, what's the first thing you think of when you think of Colorado?
Snow.
Yeah,
okay.
like snow, Rocky Mountains,
Right.
snowboarding, skiing, those kind of things.
Exactly,
yeah.
a little Rocky Mountain High, exactly. Well, guess what? There's a lot of Colorado, the eastern part, that's just flat as a board, flat as a table, and that's where we're going. Okay, we had teased this. This is what you call a supercell thunderstorm. Okay,
That's
a lot
really
of folks
cool.
They're like, "Is that an alien?" A lot of storm chasers they'll actually call this the mothership.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's an impressive swirl. You could also call it a barber pole. Notice how the rotation.
Yeah.
When you have directional shear, you've got speed shear. You'll have these thunderstorms out in the high plains. And again, Colorado, look how flat it is, by the way. Impressive swirl over northeastern Colorado. This is out of Willard. This was June the 2nd. Of course, a time lapse showing that supercell thunderstorm. And in case you're wondering, it's about 120 miles northeast of Denver. In addition to the tornado warning, the National Weather Service said, hey, watch out for golf ball size hail. But you can also see the wall cloud. See how the wall cloud is really spinning underneath there? And then it looks like to me that they're at the very end that the supercell actually collapsed. Right? Because you can see, look at that wall cloud starting to spin.
And then it starts to rain out.
And then it starts to rain out. Yeah.
Now, when you talk about Roxy and Paul, like directional shear, like you're talking about like southeast winds at the surface, and then it's spinning aloft. Is that kind of what's happening?
Yeah, exactly. At the surface, you'll have usually like a southeast wind, maybe at about 5,000 feet, more of a southerly or southwesterly wind.
That's
and
so
then at about
cool.
10 to 15,000 feet, you'll have kind of a westerly wind. It causes that whole thunderstorm to spin. And then if that spin is enough and different, you get the streamwise vorticity or whatever, then you'll come up with a tornado. But the first kind of indication this may have a tornado is that wall cloud. See that lowering right there? That's what you call it. And notice how it's spinning kind of the opposite direction.
Right.
This is just awesome video.
How do you think, how long that time lapse was?
I'd say
probably
30 minutes.
Yeah, I would say
30
maybe up to an hour because
Maybe an hour.
Yeah.
I'm going to say, you know what? Well, 45 minutes.
Okay, precise.
we'll average
46
it out.
minutes.
We'll average it out. You know, I like that.
We'll split the difference there.
Me and Paul disagree sometimes.
Sometimes. But you know what? We disagree, but in our disagreement, we'll come up with the right answer.
And we find clarity
Now, that's
in
a
our
team.
disagreement.
That's a team.
That's
for
what
you
we do
right
here
there
on
when
the
you can do
radar.
that.
Yeah.
Exactly. Anyway, pretty cool. When you go in storm chasing, that's called the supercell.
Yeah. And we have more storm video to show you. So this next video is in Missouri, between Kansas City
Hey, we've been going
and
to
Kansas City,
Missouri a lot lately.
Huh?
We've been going to Missouri a lot lately.
Yeah, I mean, the Central Plains gets hit by a lot of different storms. So after several tornado warnings, flash floods and tornado warnings hit the Kansas City metro on Tuesday, earlier this week. Reports of damage across both state lines have been rolling in. On the Missouri side, though, damage has mostly been reported around the Interstate 70 corridor near the Truman Sports Complex and neighborhoods throughout the Independence, Missouri area. So again, between Kansas and Missouri, this is where this dangerous line rolled in and caused this kind of damage. And when trees fall like this, Paul, I mean, you've probably seen this in tropical systems. People have to cut these trees to help get them out because they can't just carry one large tree. They got to cut up into pieces.
Oh, you gotta have friends. You gotta have some people to help you out. No doubt about that. By the way, I'll take U.S. presidents for 500, Independence, Missouri.
There you go.
I believe that's Harry S. Truman. I believe.
Wow.
I think I'm right about that. But
Yeah,
Oh.
you think you're right.
Not
Not to toot your own horn, but
watch me be totally wrong. About
right.
That. But
Someone fact check
Right,
Paul Mireles right now.
Somebody get on ChatGPT and fact check that really quick. Okay, so we're going to stay with severe weather theme, of course.
Oklahoma. Where else would we go? Another
We're
tornado
always going to
spotted, and yet Oklahoma. So I don't have much to say about it besides another tornado. Is this one like? Would you say it's severe? I mean, it looks.
Well, all tornadoes are severe.
Well, yes.
Here's what I've got to say about that. Is this a tornado on the ground or is it a funnel cloud? But if you look closely,
earlier in the video, it looked like it was on the ground.
Video, it looked like one of those transformers exactly exploding.
Oh yeah.
Sometimes the lowest part of the tornado is not real visible. But I think that was actually a tornado on the ground. Yeah.
Is it because it's just debris and not necessarily moisture that's wrapping around that because it's not visible?
You see that?
Yeah, there's the transformer right there.
Yeah. Sometimes you don't have a good condensation cloud.
Right.
Like let's say that it's been really wet lately. Mm-hmm. Okay, you've got the winds are there.
Yeah.
But there's not a lot of dust to pick up and make the tornado visible.
Right.
So if you don't have the condensation cloud, then the lower part of that tornado sometimes is invisible. But anyway, that's pretty cool. You know what,
good
Roxie?
video.
That's pretty cool video nonetheless.
Oh,
I
thanks.
think.
I picked it out myself.
Oh,
I shot it.
Well, I don't know about that.
Handpicked by Roxie.
Well, we're going to keep things going, but going a little bit farther west into New Mexico. Have you guys been to New Mexico?
Yes.
I have been to New Mexico.
It's nice up there.
That's Roxie's kind of home.
Yeah,
That's
she
my
loves
hood.
she loves it up there. This is heavy rain, and notice that this was a severe thunderstorm warning and a heavy widespread thunderstorm that passed through Albuquerque, through the city on June 2nd. Footage posted to social media shows monsoon-like conditions. When we say monsoon-like conditions, Paul, is that just like nonstop, consistent, consecutive days of heavy rain? You know, what monsoons are like seasonal winds, seasonal rains.
Yes, it is. You know, a lot of folks, they've taken monsoon and they've made it into something totally different. Like if you go to like some kind of like Wet and Wild or some kind of like water park, it's monsoon this or monsoon that, and then tsunami and tidal wave.
You're like, it's not monsoon, it's just rain, or it's just water.
Basically, it's just the reverse changing of the winds and the wind pattern. And a lot of folks maybe don't know this, but in Arizona, New Mexico, parts of Utah, out there in the desert Southwest, in the summer, that's when they do pick up some rain. It's not like real general, but sometimes the downpours can be very heavy. And so it's what they call, it's monsoon season. but that is really heavy rain for New Mexico. I mean, that is coming down.
Because you don't see too much severe weather in New Mexico because it's west of the Gulf.
It's just west enough.
Yeah.
That
You'll get some weather events rolling through.
Yeah, but I think that's impressive video.
Yeah.
So we're going to stay with the monsoon theme. Let's go to Phoenix metro area. Not exactly Phoenix, but the metro area on June 4th in the San-Tanned Valley, about 40 miles southeast of Phoenix.
Wow.
Yeah, they had some strong winds, heavy rain, and some hail. So you wouldn't think. I mean, both of those. If I saw this video, I would definitely, the first thing that came to my mind wouldn't be New Mexico or Arizona.
No.
But a lot of times with the heat and everything,
It could pop off thunderstorms.
Yeah, and the dry, some of the winds can get really strong out there. Yeah, that's pretty cool. And a lot of folks, they really have never heard of monsoon season.
Well, let me ask you, when is monsoon season?
It's in the summertime. I believe that it kicks off right around July 4th, but sometimes the season can come a little earlier.
Yeah.
And I believe, if I'm not wrong, it's like July 4th through like
mid-August,
something like that.
And sometimes it can start earlier because we were looking at like the Long Range Climate Prediction Center's outlook, and it looked like Desert Southwest probably going to get a little bit more rain.
Above average precip.
Yeah, above average precip.
Yep.
So, matter of fact, let's stay on the theme of monsoons and talk about
Right, Ryan, you got another
little
explainer
science
for us?
explainer.
Okay.
Oh,
Yes.
wow. What
Love
a
it.
treat.
Yeah, so as you mentioned, Paul, like in spring, summer, the water's not just in the Gulf, but in the Pacific. You have the cool ocean water, and then the air temperature over land. It heats up. I mean, the desert Southwest heats up, and it creates an area of low pressure over land. And let me ask you, Paul, do winds flow from high to low or low to high pressure?
Oh, man, Ryan, you may just trick me here. I believe high to low.
Nice. Yes. So basically what happens is in summertime, it just gets hot, right? We have this dome of high pressure.
That's a pattern that we don't like across the middle part.
No, not much. And this creates daytime highs in the hundreds for Texas.
Yeah, and Oklahoma. Kansas.
Right. And then that thermal low develops out near Arizona, Southern California. And in between, you get that funneling in from moisture, right? You get from the southeast and the southwest. And that's what creates the monsoon season in Arizona, New Mexico, far, far west Texas. And that is monsoon season.
Out in the deserts.
Out in the desert.
What would we do without these explainers?
know
I know. I think they're tremendous.
saying?
I woke up this morning excited for Ryan's explainer, honestly.
Yep. And
Roxie doesn't really say that too much, but
and then after that rain, then you get a desert rose.
Right.
Comes up. I don't know. Okay, now I've got to ask you guys. You don't give the answer, but I want you to see this, and you may not know where in the world this is. You may not even think this is our planet. Of course, you would. But
I
anyway,
mean, it has to be, right?
yes.
Yeah.
So take a look. Where in the world
Whoa.
is this? It could be anywhere in the world, and watch what happens. We're going to tell you where this is and what happened exactly when On the Radar returns. All right, welcome back to On the Radar. Okay, as promised, we had some video, and a lot of folks would be like, where is that? Is that Iceland? Is it
Norway? Where is it?
Yeah, right. Where is it? For those that are pretty quick on the uptake, this is probably Yellowstone, and it is Yellowstone. Yellowstone. Okay, I'm going to take a deep dive here. Does anybody mind?
Go, dude, do it.
Go for it.
Okay, all right. This was a small eruption, just a small eruption from Black Diamond Pool site at it's a hydrothermal explosion. This was July 23rd last year. We did go back a year, but that's okay. Very little activity has occurred at this steamboat geyser since the most recent eruption on April 14th. Oh, I'm wrong. This is April 14th. The other one before was July 23rd, 2024.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so anyway, this is the first eruption that has been captured at the pool since last year. All right, while this is a very small chance, it's very important to remember that Yellowstone is a super volcano. Did y'all know that?
Yeah.
And there's always a possibility of a future eruption. Matter of fact, the intervals between past caldera-forming eruptions at Yellowstone, they're very long, averaging around 600 to 500,000 years, okay? The most recent volcanic activity at Yellowstone erupted approximately 70,000 years. So
I've always wanted to go hiking there. I just seen several documentaries that explain like one day in the future that this area will may explode again because
into a super volcano.
Yeah,
it could be
a
tomorrow,
massive one,
or it could be 430,000 years from now.
It could be lunchtime.
Yeah.
Or it could be lunchtime.
I wonder how hot those geysers are. You know,
Can you get in that?
I was about to say, is this? I don't think so. I think these are like too hot.
Yeah, but like in areas like in Iceland, the geothermal pools, you can actually get in there and swim around. You know, so
I would like to do that. I'd love to go to Iceland and go and check that out. I think that'd be really cool.
Yeah,
I'd like to go to Yellowstone. I haven't been.
Yeah, I've heard the hiking there is beautiful.
Yeah.
All right, so we're going to stay in the U.S. and go a little bit farther east, and we're going towards the Canadian border, up farther north. And
that's beautiful, by the way.
Yeah, it's beautiful up there. But look at this. This is the result of wildfires that prompted the evacuation of thousands of residents and left skies shrouded in a smoky haze, kind of that orange-red tint in color, right?
Like I said, it's beautiful. It wouldn't be beautiful if you were there.
Yeah.
But I like the campsite.
Yeah, and this is in Saskatchewan, so this is one of the provinces of Canada.
Oh, so we're out of the U.S. then.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, we're a little bit farther north into central Canada. But again, evacuations occurred. Strong wind conditions and choppy waves had made it unsafe for several families to leave the area. There were more than 200 active fires as of Monday, 106 of which were out of control, according to the Canadian International Forest Fire Center. So, yeah, I mean, that air quality, that reddish color in the atmosphere, it's very ominous when you look at it like that.
Man. They've got spruces and firs. It look like Christmas trees up there.
Right. So what's also incredible, so this next video is just going to show you some of the data we use in meteorology and forecasting. So we use radar, we use computer models, but this is satellite imagery. This is geostationary satellite imagery. Wildfires spread rapidly due to hot and dry conditions. Again, this is courtesy to NOAA and the National Weather Service.
It's amazing what they're doing with that satellite imagery.
Yeah, and
really
the clarity you can get that low to the ground, you can actually see the fires burning at such low levels.
Now, if I'm not mistaken, where you see the fire, the red on that,
right?
I don't think those are the actual flames. I think they use like thermal imaging. Like
they have to enhance it a little bit.
And they enhance it and make it so you know where the fire actually is.
Yeah, but this is good because like you see the curvature of the upper level winds, Paul. Like from that image, you can see winds are coming in from the northwest, moving southeast, and that's what transported a lot of the smoke towards like the Midwest, the southeast, towards New York. So the upper level winds can help transport. Yeah,
pyrocumulus.
Yeah, you guys know about that?
Yeah, Ryan. Come on.
Do I know?
Come on, Ryan.
Don't get me started.
Of course, I know about that pyrocumulus. It's actually the fires get so hot that they're able to break through, like if there's any kind of temperature inversion,
right,
and create like a cumulus cloud, and then every once in a while you'll have like a thunderstorm that develops out of that.
Isn't that incredible? Like wildfires.
You want me to keep going about
wildfires? Look at this. This is like an enhanced imagery of satellites, and you can see the HRRR smoke model helped forecast the movement of smoke to alert communities downstream, right towards the Midwest and towards the Northeast. So NOAA satellites. Thank you so much, NOAA, for helping provide critical information to detect fires and monitoring.
I like when it goes to not black and white, but to nighttime where you see the city lights.
You can see the city lights, right? Yeah, it's cool.
You're like the master of satellite imagery.
Did you shout out NOAA as if NOAA's going to get back to you?
No, I just like to let them know, like, their work is appreciated.
Just kidding. Well,
Ryan,
thank you.
Ryan with the win there. Okay.
Yeah,
hey, when we saw this video before we aired it, you guys didn't know exactly what this was, but since I've lived in the Plain States, I knew exactly what this was, and it's very annoying. And if you live in the Plain States, you know what I'm talking about. It's cottonwood. And this time of the year, boy, the cottonwood will just fly. And if you happen to live in a neighborhood that has a bunch of these cottonwood trees, very annoying. I never liked cottonwood. All right, it's flying through the air there and collecting on the grass. You see that. And it's just about everywhere you'll see these cottonwood seeds. All right. The one place that you don't want them is near your air conditioner. It's that time of the year. They're fluffy and it's annoying, and it's the first sign of summer. And by the way, this is out of St. Louis Park, Minnesota, which is just southwest of the Twin Cities.
Looks like ice or
look
snow.
pretty.
Like, what is going on?
I mean, it literally looks like it's snowing. Exactly.
Yeah.
That is crazy.
So the cottonwood, that's native to North Texas and other regions across the U.S. Because I haven't seen that.
States.
Yeah, that's. Oh, look at that video.
Hold on a minute. That
Hold
was,
on.
I think somebody put a little snow.
No, dude, that looked
That
like.
was in Cottonwood. There's no way.
I mean, you never know.
I think John did that on it. He put that in
Well,
there, I think.
I did the editing actually, but you know.
Well, he does everything too, so.
But see how that would be annoying? It would, like
Yeah,
Roxie, if you're just in there and you're like walking down the sidewalk, it would get all in your hair.
Is it like, so it makes you sneeze, right? It's like pollen?
You know,
Would
I
you be
think it is
sniffling,
maybe it's a
sneezing,
type
or
of
what?
pollen, it's a seed, but they're
Yeah.
really big. There you go. John put in the video.
It's on loop.
That's real video.
right.
That's
Yeah,
But
that was
that's
riveting.
fascinating.
Okay.
But speaking of fascinating things, I want
Yes.
y'all full attention, okay? Stop what you're doing. Stop fidgeting.
okay.
Look at
All
the
right.
screen.
All right.
I need to pay attention.
Because this is
Sorry.
the best video you're ever going to see, okay?
Okay.
Time lapse of the Northern Islands. Or Northern Lights, sorry, Northern Islands. But, but
be some Northern
this is going to be
There
the
could
best
be,
video
you know,
ever. You're going to see every color, okay?
eventually.
Eventually.
Just wait for
Wait
it.
for it.
It's coming.
You know
I
what,
promise.
Roxie? You jinxed it with your luck.
maybe-
And your
The nor-
umbrella.
Well, she said
See, look.
no. She said Northern Islands, and it just felt disrespected. You know, the video was like, you know what?
A little
I'm not
Let's
gonna
redo.
play
Right.
today. I'm not gonna play
Yeah.
today. You
See,
know?
that's what happens when you pop an umbrella.
It's 'cause you didn't
in
stay
the-
still.
That's what I'm
Like I
saying.
said.
You can't just have an umbrella
freeze
open
the-
indoors. You know, come
You
on.
end up freezing our video.
Undo the
now
luck.
you got to open it back
Yeah.
up, and then
Okay.
hopefully the video
Does
will
that
come.
All
undo
right.
everything?
I hope that
There
works.
we go. Now let's see if that works.
Let's see.
It works.
Yes,
That
we're
works.
back.
Wow.
We are so back.
Way to go.
We are back.
All right.
We are
Oh,
back.
hey.
Oh, come
You got to
on.
leave the umbrella open.
Is that my fault, John? I don't know.
All right.
Nah.
Try one more time.
3 times.
One
Let's
more
try
time.
it. Third time, and maybe it'll
Third
work.
time the charm.
Yeah. Third
Hey,
time.
you know what? It's so dramatic video, man. That's all we get. It's all you need is just a little bit. Here we
There
go.
we go.
Okay. So where is this at?
Northern Lights.
It's
Well,
Northern
wait,
Lights.
but where
In,
though?
in Oregon, my bad.
Oregon.
Defer, Oregon.
We know it's the Northern Lights.
I don't know how you say it. Defer?
Maybe.
Defer?
Or,
Defer?
but it's in Oregon.
Pacific
Okay.
Pacific Northwest.
Yes.
That is
So,
absolutely
Wait
beautiful.
for it,
You
though.
were
It
right.
gets better. It gets better.
Oh, it gets even better?
Well, as we approach like
Silence.
sunset, twilight, I'm
Quiet
sure
in the studio.
the colors are more vibrant.
It's got stars. It's like
Look at how pretty.
coloring with the colors of the wind.
What causes
Wow.
the pink color, the blue color,
Didn't
the
we
purple
say
color?
in the last episode, remember? We talked about it was different chemicals.
Yeah, the different gases in the
Gases,
atmosphere,
yes.
nitrogen, oxygen, all help produce the vibrant colors of the Northern Lights.
And this is also above an abandoned schoolhouse, by the way. Just a fun
Thank you.
fact.
That is absolutely
It looks abandoned, that's for sure.
Yeah.
yeah.
It honestly kind of looks like AI a little bit, but this is real.
It looks like a wallpaper you'd see, like somewhere, just a time lapse.
I think it's completely awesome. It's a great way to finish this week's On the Radar.
And by the
Okay,
way,
you've got something to tell us.
Yeah,
about,
I do. So we love weather video, love weather content, photos. So please send your weather content to Ken's Weather at kens5.com, and that can be featured on the radar. Catch your weather videos here, and we can take you beyond the forecast with all the weather content we receive here at Ken's.
All right, make sure and watch next week. We'll see if Roxie's luck changes.
We'll hope so. We're hoping.
Okay, we'll see you next week.
I'll bring my umbrella.